Welcome, everyone. Dr. Mandell here. Hope you are having a beautiful day, morning, night, wherever you are tuning in right now. We are streaming live, and I think you're really going to enjoy this video. Why? Because this is really going to hit home for a lot of you. I'm going to go through this fairly quick. I'm going to give you the platform address. We'll do that in a little bit. We can bring you on the platform if you'd like to talk briefly about this topic only. This is about sugar, the damaging effects of sugar, what sugar could be doing to our bodies. We're not even realizing it. We expect a lot of people in the chat room today, so I am going to move straight forward because you can always go back and re-listen to this video later. There's no question that sugar is an addicting drug, too much sugar. We're talking about fast added sugars. Okay, I want to separate the difference between a healthy sugar and a added poison sugar. Now realize sugar is sugar and they are carbohydrates, but just hear me out for a few minutes. When it comes down to sugar, understand what it does to the liver. Since it synthesizes more bad LDLs, which is our low density lipoproteins. So now, if we're having more bad LDLs, the LDLs is what causes that, quote, sticky plaquing and problems and clogging and of the arteries, which can actually affect our circulation and blood supply to the heart, which is a heart attack, or the brain, which is a stroke. But it actually plays a tremendous role in lowering the HDLs, the high density lipoproteins, and as well as increasing the triglycerides. Now, the high density lipoproteins is what brings back those LDLs that are out in the bloodstream. Those LDLs are the ones that do the plaquing. So the HDLs grab onto the LDLs, bring them back to the liver so it can excrete it back out of the body. So if we are having low LDLs, we're eventually going to have more cardiovascular disease. Now, we know what cholesterol is all about. Cholesterol is actually really important. And I don't want to mislead anyone and tell everyone that, get your cholesterol way down, because cholesterol is important, but understand there are good cholesterols and there are bad cholesterols. Let me just talk briefly about sugar and cholesterol. Cholesterol is needed for many things in the body. Our cells of our body, our cell membranes, our heart. It affects so many important things. And people who have higher cholesterols, according to the medical statistics today of what high cholesterol is, because back 35 years ago, cholesterol was up in the 300s, which was considered normal. And I understand the statin drugs and pharmaceutical market is a big trend that goes on today, because I won't say too much because we are on internet. But I do want to really hit you hard today about consuming too much sugar. The dangers of sugar. Let me just go over a few important things. The majority of sugars that we get are not necessarily the added sugars that you're putting into your food. These are the processed sugars. These are the sugars that you're finding on the shelves. These are sugars that are actually being misled to you that you're buying low-fat foods but have high sugars. So you got to be very, very careful. You need to read the ingredients. Now, when we talk about consuming too much sugar, we're talking about even yogurts and cereals and cookies and candies, as well as our enriched and processed foods. We look at things like ketchup. There is as much ketchup, if not more sugar in ketchup than there is in ice cream. So we need to be very, very aware of our sugars. I'm going to talk about the different kinds of sugars in just a little bit. Now, there's no question that sugar impacts our heart. It causes cardiovascular problems. It will lead to increased inflammation. And it's the inflammation that eventually starts grabbing on to the bad cholesterol and the calcium and other minerals throughout the body that causes this plaquing formation. But sugar is the greatest inflammatory food that we can put into our body. It's not the fats. Now, trans fats are not good. Saturated fats, as far as I'm concerned, are not bad if it's whole, natural foods, okay? That's not actually added nitrates and processed, because there's a lot of fats that people eat on keto that's doing them a lot of damage because they're not eating a healthy keto. So we look at brown sugar, corn sweeteners, corn syrup, fruit juices or concentrates, or high fructose corn syrup, which is the worst, honey. Honey to me is one of the better ones because it's a lower glycemic index. You need to understand about the glycemic index. The lower the glycemic index of the food, the slower it absorbs in the cells. We have malt sugars, we have molasses, and there's a lot of hidden sugars. But one of my favorite sugars, obviously, if you're going to do something, if you're going to use stevia, if you're going to use monk fruit, but here is the key. The key is this. If you're going to have sugar, have it in the whole state, have it with fiber. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You're looking right here. Look at me real closely. Okay? What I do is I spend a lot of time editing. I put a lot of time into YouTube trying to educate you people. And hours of editing, I'll get my natural chips, my natural quinoa chips, my natural healthy chips. And I'm eating my chips at night. And I'm realizing, these chips are still carbs. Carbs are still sugars. And I'm loading my body with carbs. Well, what happened was my cholesterol went up to, my LDLs went up to almost 120. Now, here's someone who's healthy as can be, but I'm trying to explain to you to give you an understanding what sugar does. The cholesterol went up, my total cholesterol, my triglycerides went up, my LDLs went up, my HDLs went down. And I said, oh my God. Now, here I am, always been fit, always eat healthy, but I'm sucking down these healthy carbs that aren't really healthy because they're getting converted into sugars. And the excessive sugars are putting a load on my body. And where's it going? Okay, it's either being stored as glycogen, either in my muscles or in my liver. Once the stores of glycogen are filled, either I can use up that glucose if I'm exercising, or it gets turned into one big problem, visceral fat. It gets turned into fat. The excessive sugars get converted into fat. And the majority of people who are overweight are not over fat or overweight because of too much fat. You're overweight because of too much sugars. Please understand that. It's because of too much sugars, not too much fat. Now, let me tell you the problem here. Sugar is a drug, and the majority of sugars that we take in is from liquids. A can of sugar, of Coke or Pepsi, or canned soda. I won't even mention the brand. I don't know how many tablespoons. I had it before. Let's see if I come back at it. But it has many, many teaspoons of sugar. Many. There's so much. And the worst thing we can do is that when we're juicing our fruits, drinking fruit juice at fructose is bad because there's no fiber. So if you're drinking sugar or you're drinking fructose of healthy fruits, yeah, you're going to get the minerals and the vitamins, but the liver is not going to like you. It's going to be, obviously, eventually a fatty liver. So let me grab something for you, because I wanted to mention these few things. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bring people up on the platform with you. Let me put the platform address on here right now. So if you'd like to come on the platform and talk, everyone will see you, the whole world, and they will continue to see you. But you need to ask the question, or you need to mention your experience about what you've gained, maybe by cutting down sugars, going on keto. I'm not trying to push diets here, but maybe you can share your experience about how it's helped your blood work, your cholesterol. It helped lower your blood pressure. And high sugar will increase blood pressure. It will increase inflammation. I promise you, it will increase blood pressure. So here are some signs that you're eating too much sugar. Now, this is really powerful. Premature aging. Now, how much money is spent on skin products? Billions. Well, wrinkles. That will age you. It will kill your collagen. It will kill your elastin, which is flexibility, elasticity. Females, if you're having problems with menstruating, your menstrual hormones, you're going to be all thrown off. If you're having cramping, it's going to be thrown off. If you're having gas, you're going to be all thrown off. Why? Because those sugars feed the yeast. Candida albicans, it feeds the yeast. And guess what? Yeast produces gases. And those gases is what's in your colon. And that's a big problem. You need to increase probiotics if you're having those problems. But I recommend everyone to have some type of good probiotics. You want to know one of the biggest ones with skin problems, psoriasis, eczema? Too much sugar. It's because it's inflammatory. You're going to your dermatologist. He's giving you creams, but you need to cut down the sugar. Trust me. I've seen it over and over and over again. I'm trying to really give you some great, great advice that can save you lots of time and money. Constant cravings. Remember, the majority of our cravings comes from liquid sugars because the solid is not there. It throws off our ghrelin levels. The ghrelin levels go sky high. That makes us crave more food. Our leptin levels go whoop, down the tube. So our leptin actually helps us keep that satiety. It's not there. It doesn't work. So forget about the fact that you're putting a tremendous burden on your pancreas to develop insulin resistance because now you have too much sugar. Insulin's always being pumped up. Too much insulin means increased body fat, and therefore you're going to have other cardiovascular problems. It leads to a whole metabolic syndrome. What's a great thing to do to start out is chromium is great. Chromium will actually help regulate satiety, as well as other fibrous foods, even things like glucomannan, as well as psyllium husks. Low energy. Yeah, you're going to get that spike, but you're going to fall down like you've never fell before. If you're eating those high sugars, and guess what? Your brain's going to crave more of it. You know, you're going to get those rushes of those hormones throughout your body that's going to keep craving. Bloating, as we mentioned, is a big one. A weakened immune system. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. And guess what? That sugar is feeding the yeast. It's feeding the bad bacteria. You don't have good bacteria, you're going to have lots of problems. If you're drinking lots of sugar at night, it's going to prevent you from sleeping well. Your happy hormone serotonin is largely produced in your gut, and that's essential for melatonin production, the relaxation hormone, and that's necessary to get a good night's sleep. But if you're having trouble sleeping, you need to reduce the sugars. And obviously, weight gain. All your weight gain. If you're gaining weight, which is a majority of the world, you need to cut down on those sugars because those fat stores are just building up in you. Insulin is just creeping up on you. And the only way you're going to gain fat is by having high insulin levels. You can't afford to have that. So we do have someone in our platform. I'm going to go ahead and give you the, actually we lost them. I'm going to go ahead and give you the address here to get on the platform. If you want to share your experiences with your sugars, with your weight loss, with your energy, with your lowered cholesterol, your triglycerides, or anything you want to share, come on the platform. Believe me, you're helping lots of people. I prefer that you have a cam. If you have, because we like to see who you are. If preferably, we'll put you up. We'll head over for Abacus here. Let's see if who we have here. Is this Abacus? Let's
Hello.
see. Okay, yeah, go ahead. We hear you.
Yes, so what we want to talk?
You have a question or a comment about sugar?
Well, was, you can say that I was addicted on sugar because I was eating a lot of sugar before,
Yeah.
like on in tea and in other things, 2 or 3 even spoons.
So you were eating a lot of sugar before, and
Now I have cut it down. Like I cannot drink without sugar, but like half a spoon to get a little of taste.
okay,
Just a little. So I have cut down my sugar and my oil also. I ate less oil, less sugar, more fruits. So
and
I
what?
am
What?
much better now.
Okay, good,
Before I have more oily skin, some fat was there. Now I am also exercising, so
beautiful,
it is just getting better.
beautiful. Thank you so much for participating with. Have a good night now, or a good day. If you'd like to come on the platform with us, I will go ahead and post this because we are not going to be on too long today. I just wanted to get this point, get the information through to you. We'll take one or two more chatters that'd like to maybe come on the platform. I just want to put it out in the chat room out there. But again, I cannot stress to the world out there that listening to this video over and over and referring this to somebody that can actually benefit from it, I can promise you, you are actually doing them a beautiful, big deed for them because sugar is the big killer. And I'm telling you right now, when it comes to cardiovascular conditions, when it comes to metabolic syndrome, when it comes to diabetes, when it comes down to the brain, sugar will destruct the brain. It's inflammatory. It will lead to plaquing in the arteries. And remember, there is still healthy sugars. I'm not telling you to ever knock out sugars because sugars are carbohydrates. It gives you energy, but you must eat those natural whole sugars that have fiber with it. We'll go to William here. Give me a second, William. Hello there, William.
Hey, good sir. I just started following you maybe couple of weeks ago. So I got my colon cleanser. I got different other stuff, and I'm still watching your videos so I can do my drink in the morning to clean out my arteries and all that
Good,
other
good,
stuff.
good.
About 10 years ago, I went through foreclosure, a divorce. Had to sell my business. Had a nervous breakdown. I ballooned up to 300 pounds, and I was running to the bathroom, and I was like, what's wrong? And I went to the doctor, and they were, I was like, hey, I'll keep on running to the bathroom. They checked my sugar, and it was around about 400, and it was like, oh, your sugar's too high. I was like, is 500 better? 5 is my favorite number. They were like, no. And they gave me some some kind of medicine. They told me to drink some water, and they said if it's not down in 30 minutes, we're calling the paramedics. Long story short, I lost the weight. I'm still battling it, but with your YouTube channel, I got my elliptical. My elliptical behind me, and I just bought me a tonal. So I'm starting to work out.
How much weight have you lost thus far? How much weight have you lost? Like you lost quite a bit.
Yeah. So right now I'm like 250.
Okay,
but
good.
I want to get down to like maybe 225, 215 or whatever. My doctor says I should be at 190, but I'm like, okay. But hey, I'll try my best, but with your systems, it's a slow and steady process, and I'm still trying to kick all the sugar out, but sometimes it's hard.
Here's one of the most important things you can do. What makes it easier for you is that, remember, sugar's a drug, like the other drugs. I won't even say, but it's addicting. But the best things you could do, remember, it's not the fat that makes you fat. It's the excessive sugars that makes you fat. So start getting on your avocados, handfuls of nuts, proteins throughout the day, your fruits that have pectin, fiber in it, your vegetables and your fruits, because those fibers feed the probiotics. Those are prebiotics. They feed the probiotics in your gut. When your gut is filled with probiotics, your immune system works better, your cardiovascular system works better, your blood pressure comes down, your satiety becomes higher. Okay, so the key thing that you want to focus on right now is lots of water and healthy fats, because healthy fats is kind of like the log that slowly burns.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than the quick fire, like you throw a piece of newspaper in there. Think of the newspaper like glucose, like that's the sugar. Think of the fats like the log that slowly burns. That's what fuels you, gives you your energy all day.
Helps the train move.
Exactly. So it's just a matter of discipline, and it's a matter of your body. It's like a person that stops eating a certain sweet. Eventually, you don't miss it anymore. I promise you won't miss it. But remember, it's an addiction. The more you go to it, like a cigarette or an alcohol or, with other drugs, which I won't say, you want to go right back to it. Remember, you've got like serotonin, you've got these happy hormones inside you, these dopamines that just crave these things. So you got to stop that craving. Go ahead.
One thing it really helped me last year was, and I'm trying to get back into it, was intermittent fasting. I wouldn't eat after 6 o'clock, and I would eat at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And what helped me was me and my best friend was we was competing for a race. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to lose some weight and work out. So I would do the intermittent fasting, and then I would have 2 salads from El Pollo Loco, the 300 calorie or less or something. So I would have one salad at 12, and then another one at like 6.
The reason why I'm going to have to cut you off because we're going to be terminating the program, but the reason why the intermittent fasting is good for people is one reason. It's called autophagy. Autophagy is a funny word, but what it does, it helps your cells rebuild and cleanse itself. So it's good for people intermittent fasting if it's periodically. I'm a big person when it comes down to like the soup, the plain vegetable soups. Just eat them, cleanse. You'll lose weight. You'll get all the extra fluid out of you, and it'll be real satiating because of the fiber. Anyways, thank you so much for
one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
when I did that, also too, I had a problem with concentrating. But when I was doing that, I had like clarity. So
Yes.
thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. God bless you, my friend. Stay well, okay?
You too.
Okay. Well, that was great. Anyways, we're going to end up right now. So it's going to be reposted back on our program. I ask you please to share this, subscribe if you have not to the channel, because of the fact there's only one thing I'm concerned about. That's you, your health, and your loved ones, just to make sure you stay healthy. My job is to continue to give you information, because the more I give, the better I sleep. It's all, it's all about purpose. It's all about helping one another. And if you can go out and share the video or share the videos that you're watching, specifically those that have helped you, please do it. You'll be saving lots of lives. Remember, a lot of people out there do not have the same medical as you may have in your town. So by educating them and giving them good educational, nutritional information can really sustain a healthy life for a long time. So anyways, I want to say God bless to everyone out there. We appreciate all the chatters out there. And I just want to say, stay safe. Please stay safe, and just stay proactive. God bless you.